Yo, this is Alex for Destiny.
I'm Phil from Fit Will Exposed.
And today we're going to talk about how to fix body dysmorphia forever. So it's going to be a really deep topic. I know a lot of people don't really talk about this in the fitness community, but it's very important for you as a lifter because you've been exposed to all kinds of fake naturals and unrealistic expectations, and it's making you go fucking crazy. Every day you look in the mirror, you think you're too small. I mean, you're never really satisfied with what you got. And I understand that there's a self-improvement aspect, like you always want to get better, and that's great, I got it too. But when you're literally at that point where you're just never ever happy no matter what, and you got this crazy body dysmorphia, I think it can wreak havoc on your life. So we're going to give you some strategies on how to deal with that.
Yeah. So first thing, for all you guys who don't even know what body dysmorphia is in the first place, it's basically the opposite of anorexia. It's basically you're literally never big enough, you know. You get to like 250, 260, 270, you know. You just tell yourself 5 pounds more, 1 pound more, you know. And it just like, the further, the heavier you get, the more insecure you get, you know.
Sure.
So it's like, so in this video we're gonna discuss body dysmorphia as, you know, you're never big enough, but we're also gonna change it up and say you're not big or you're not lean enough. Because some people don't want the extra size, but they just want to keep getting more and more shredded.
That's right.
You know, like 8% is fat to them. You know, they'll even like post a picture on Facebook. I see this all the time. They'll be like, they'll post a picture. They're like 8-9%. And as the description, they'll say, "I'm fat."
Yeah, I've seen that too. It's fucked up.
And it's like, and then it's just like a cry for attention. Everyone in the comment section is like, "Oh, you're not fat. You're not fat." And then the guy's like, "No, I am. I need to get down to 5." And
I'll even see pictures of guys. They're like 15% body fat. And they're like, "Fuck, I need to get on a cut." But I could see their entire six pack, and they have definition. They're thinking that they look fat, which is the sad thing if you ask me. Because if you were to talk to a medical professional, like they're gonna look at these dudes and say, "Man, you're a fit motherfucker." Like imagine if you're doing cardio every day, you're doing full body workouts, you're lifting all kinds of numbers in the gym, you're above average, yet you're calling yourself fat because you got a little bit of flab. Like that's a bit of a problem if you ask me.
Yeah, and also we're not just some guys just like talking out of our asses. You know, I grew up with this, especially through my teens. You know, my late teens is like, but also that was for like a variety of different things. I wasn't training the way naturals are supposed to train. You know, I wasn't eating the way I was supposed to eat for packing on size. My programming was garbage. I was just, you know, like I was a chest and arms guy, you know.
Chest and arms, the split routines.
That's all I really knew, you know.
Yeah, for sure. I think everyone was at that at some point in their training
careers. Because they don't know like how to work the back, whatever, all that
kind of
stuff.
And same thing for me. You know, I was skinny my entire life. I was 120 pounds. I know a lot of guys don't know that, but I was 120 shredded, you know.
Yeah, we're gonna attach pictures on the screen so some of you guys don't know how I looked when I first graduated from high school. When I first started lifting at 17 years old. I graduated high school at 145. A lot of people don't understand that. A lot of people think that they look at me and think, "Oh, you're always like 230 or some shit," you know. But couldn't be any further from the truth. You know, I was like literally what an ectomorph, like the definition of ectomorph.
Yeah, like real talk. Like I met Phil like many years later when he was obviously buff. But when he showed me that picture of him of like 140 pounds, skinny as fuck, I was like, "Damn, who is this guy?"
Yeah,
like this guy.
For sure.
Like everyone says you look wide, that you look big and shit, but they don't know that at some point you were small as hell.
Like my whole life.
Yeah, like your whole life.
From birth all the way to 17.
Same thing for me, man. I got all kinds of like personal photos, skinny.
For sure, yeah.
You know, but also I was a gamer and shit. I didn't eat a lot.
For sure. I have a basketball background, so I was just running all day. You know.
Yeah.
It's like we weren't like.
But both of us were skinny and we had body dysmorphia. I would look every single day. I would flex like over 10 times a day easily. Yeah. You know, I'd be doing bicep shots, tricep shots, flexing my lats all the fucking time. And it was a problem. It was a real problem. I'm not saying that I got rid of it 100% today, but I'm definitely like...
we're happy. I'm happy. I'm really happy.
It's more manageable, you know? Like, I don't have to think about it all the time.
Yeah, and like... And I'm telling you, like, I remember I was at a point with it where, like, it was literally taking over my life, you know? Like, it was really bad, you know? Like, it was literally like I was living in hell, man. Like, you're just looking in the mirror all the time. You're like, fuck. And also, keep in mind that, like, I wasn't educated as I was today, you know? So before, I was really comparing myself to a lot of the guys on YouTube, too. And also, I've noticed that a lot of the people who experience body dysmorphia, it tends to be a lot of teenagers who are novices, you know?
Yes.
Novice teenagers. They have zero strength foundation, you know? And they don't know shit about the training world. They don't know shit about drugs. They go on YouTube and they'll see, like, I don't know, I'm not saying names, but I don't know. They'll see, like, whatever. And then they start comparing themselves, you know? Because it's like, and then when they start finding out about, like, the good channels, like, you know, ours, whatever, and we start educating them, and then they find out that half these guys are like they're just lying, you know. It's like finding out that Santa Claus isn't real. Like you're like shit.
That's a
know?
great example. Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just like you're living in a fairy tale world.
Yeah, I'd agree. I'd say that most of the guys who have body dysmorphia, they're comparing themselves to drug users. And I know for myself, like I can't name drop because I used to look up to some of these people. Like when I was a teenager, I started watching YouTube Fitness in 2009. So I'm a fucking OG. I'm OG 101. I was here since the dawn of the fitness community, right?
Yeah.
I've seen all of the guys grow and fall, all the people. And I would look up to some of these dudes. Of course, the fitness model guys well in the magazines and shit. And little did I realize that they were all on drugs. I figured out years later. And that's one of the reasons why I created Naturally Enhanced. Because I was like, fuck, there's got to be a better way to get big, you know? So the thing is, it's about empowering yourself with knowledge. Once you understand that all these guys, like, they're legit, they're juicing hard. Like, they're on grams and grams a year, spending thousands of dollars. It does help with the body dysmorphia. Because you're like, fuck, why am I stressing? I'm not going to look like this, you know?
But also, just to add on to what I was just saying before, it's not just teenagers who are novices. I know some grown men, 30, 35, they have just as much body dysmorphia as guys who are like 15.
Like Rich Piana and all these professional bodybuilders and shit. They look in the mirror, they're always too small, you know? Like,
I wanna address, in this video, I want to address more of the drug-free guys, because it's like, in my opinion, if you're on grams and grams of gear and you still have body dysmorphia, then that's beyond, like, the scope of this video. You probably need to consult somebody else, you know? I'm talking about the guys who, like, you know, you're drug-free, you know? And those are the kinds of guys that I want to help, you know? If you're on drugs, like, I can't help you, you know? It's like,
if you're on drugs...
If you're, like, 280 shredded and you're still feeling small, like, I can't help you with that.
For sure. Like, you have other problems, you might have to see a therapist or something. It's beyond the scope of this video, obviously.
Exactly. So, okay, so we're going to break it down. We're gonna tell you exactly what you need to do to get out of this whole body dysmorphia thing. And also understand that you are going to get it every now and then, you know? It's like, even us, we have it, you know, we'll look in the mirror.
Yeah, I get it on my neck.
Forearms can be bigger, whatever, you know?
Forearms.
But it's minimized, you know? And you reach a certain point where it's like, there are diminishing returns, you know? Like, the happiness I have at 230 compared to 225, it's like, doesn't really get that much bigger, you know? It's like,
for sure. You
know, reach a certain point where it's like, hey, you're, you know? But now it's like, I keep training because it's like, you know, what else am I going to do, you know? This is my, like, I love this stuff, you know?
Yeah, I feel like the weaker you are, the more body dysmorphia you're going to have. The more experienced you become in the gym, you start to deal with it, you know? Like going from, I don't know, 180 pounds to 185. It's not going to make you that much happier.
Mm-hmm.
You know?
Okay, so check. So we broke down the general guidelines of this video. Now we're going to give you guys the solutions. We're tired of talking about us. So
all right.
The first solution is you got to set a goal, right? If you're not setting a goal, you're basically walking around with a blindfold, you know? You have to know exactly what you want to get, exactly what kind of physique you want to get, you know? So, and also I would recommend that you shoot high, but don't shoot unrealistically high, you know?
Don't shoot for a fucking roid head look.
Look, if you're like, you know, you're 15 years old, you're naive, and you want to look like Arnold, like, it's not going to happen, you know? Sorry to burst your bubble, you know? But
Santa Claus ain't real.
Santa Claus ain't real, you know? Let's wake up here, you know?
Yeah.
So it's like, you want something that's challenging, but something that's still somewhat possible naturally.
Like I would say, compare yourself to some of the best natties out there. You know.
Exactly.
Like compare yourself to me or Phil. You know.
Fuck that. You compare yourself to higher people. You know. Like
of course. Yeah, we're nobodies.
I keep saying it. Like this is the top of this. That's the genetic limit. Yeah. And we're here. You'd be really surprised.
Yeah.
We're like probably like 1/6 of the way there.
I know we got a lot more to.
Like people underestimate it, you know. There's so many lifts. There's so many like. You'd be really surprised, you know.
Yeah, but that's a general guideline. I would say. I mean, shoot to something like that, you know.
Shoot something high.
Because there's not too many natties that I could say exist.
And also, there are some juice heads who like you could actually get their physique.
Yeah, there are some for sure.
For example, a perfect example, like let's say how tall is Tom Hardy? Like 5'9"? He's around 5'9".
I think so.
I like a lot of people want to look like Bane from Batman, you know, and a lot of people are saying, "Oh, that's a drugged up physique," and whether he's drugged up or not, or whether he was drugged up or not in that film, he was 200 pounds, 5'9", and he wasn't shredded. You know, he was that. You could get that physique without drugs. So let's say if you're 5'9", and you know you want to go for that yoke look, like that's the kind that like set that as your goal. You know,
for sure.
You know what I mean?
Same thing with a lot of other Hollywood movie stars. You know. Like, I know a lot of people, they reference Thor, like his epic transformation. Whether or not he used drugs is irrelevant. You can achieve a physique like that naturally, you know? Same thing with, like, Chris Evans and all these fucking guys. I mean, sure, they have impressive physiques and stuff for what they do. But just because they might have juice, I'm not saying they have, but just because they might have, doesn't mean you can't get there. Because there's some people, they use it to get quick natty gains, if you will. You know, like instead of grinding out 5 years in the gym, they're gonna go maybe a year and a half, 2 years, like high doses, and then they look like a natty, you know, like a real natty. So you could still obtain it, some people, but you gotta know, you gotta have an eye for that. And I'd say the more experienced you are, you'll be able to figure that out. Like I know what's achievable just by looking at it. For the most part, you get general ideas. You know?
For the most part, yeah.
Experience.
So that's the first thing that you need to understand. You know, set a goal, and also stop changing your goals all the time. You know, set a goal and actually try to hit it for like a good year, 2 years. You know, because if you're just constantly changing your goals, you're shortchanging your progress. You know, if you're trying to get, like, let's say you want to get a huge ass upper back, like a month later you change it to delts, and a month later you change it to like quads. You know, it's like you're obviously not really gonna get anywhere because you're not really staying consistent with one particular thing.
Right.
You know what I mean? So it's like stop with this ADD crap. You know, like start like having like laser focus. You know, you're not gonna get good results off like temporary programs. You know, it has to be like smart, well planned out, and like you have to look. It has to be well planned out. You know.
Yeah.
So that's the first thing. You know. The second thing is, I feel like as a natural, you shouldn't just want to chase size. You know, I feel like people. This is just in my opinion, obviously. Okay. I feel like the people who typically just chase size, like they want their body to look like this, like they just end up being miserable, you know.
Well,
but as opposed to someone who chases size and strength, or even just guys who just chase strength, you know, they're more happy. Like they're just like you're.
Yeah, the thing is, if you chase strength, you'll end up with a bit of strength dysmorphia, but it's not the same as body. I mean, it is body dysmorphia, but a different type. Yeah. But I think it's better to have strength dysmorphia than fucking looking yourself in the mirror 20 times a day, flexing all the time, and
for sure, you're
being insecure about
chasing performance, you know.
You know, so yeah, like it's cool. Like I don't think strength dysmorphia is necessarily a bad thing. It's always you're seeking to prove yourself.
Yeah, like are you gonna call a basketball player something like who misses like shots and stuff? Are you gonna say he has like performance dysmorphia? Like
yeah, it's not bad. But when we talk about like because your biceps are lacking,
it's like a superficial thing. It's the way you look. You know?
But when we talk about like the biceps, you're lacking 0.5 inches on your arms. Your peak is a little bit lagging.
Exactly.
Like shit like that. It's very like it's destructive in my opinion.
Exactly.
But,
so
yeah,
it's better to have, in my opinion, a bit of size dysmorphia, a bit of strength dysmorphia, as opposed to just having a shitload of size dysmorphia.
I agree.
So
yeah, like we said, you're still gonna have a bit of body dysmorphia. Like for me, I want a bigger neck. I want like 20 inches. I want bigger forearms and shit. It's a bit normal, you know. But when you obsess over it, that's when it becomes a problem. But for strength, not really a problem because it's great. Exactly. You're gonna be in the gym anyway, so you might as well be shooting for high numbers. And
also, this video is dedicated to drug-free lifters, so it's like you have to get strong in the first place.
You gotta get strong to get big anyway.
Get strong anyways.
Right?
You know?
Yeah. So fuck it. Focus on. So what if you have strength dysmorphia? At least it's gonna build your physique. You're like screw it, you know.
Yeah. So that brings me on my third point. This one isn't for the guys who want to get lean. This is for the guys who want to get jacked. You know, like I could understand the reason why I had body dysmorphia so much in my teens, my late teens, was because I was I was focusing. I was like powerlifting 101. You know, trying to get my bench to like super high numbers. Yeah. I was focusing on all the wrong lifts to get jacked. You know, shoulder pressing was an afterthought. When I would do it, I would just half rep it.
Yeah.
I would never. I would just be chasing the vertical pulls because I was trying to be like these calisthenics guys, which most of them are on drugs, by the way. And and also I was focusing on chest, lats, arms, like upper arm, quads, like literally all the muscles that don't make you look jacked. You know, that's why if you look at my physique and my strength from like, you know, maybe a year ago as opposed to now, it's like what Alpha said. You know, 2016, that was the year of gains. That was the year of naturally enhanced. You know, so it's like what I'm trying to say is if you want to look massive, and you feel if you have body dysmorphia and your goal is to get massive, follow naturally enhanced. It's that simple, you know.
Well, it doesn't have to be my program.
It doesn't have to be this program, but like that's the program that's really gonna be suitable for the people who have, you know, who want to get big, who are drug free.
Okay.
I don't know. Maybe if there's another program, you could write in the comment section, but that's the only program I know.
What you're saying is essentially, if you have body dysmorphia, like legit, and the only way you're gonna be satisfied is if you get to that appreciable amount of size, and you're better off focusing on the enhanced muscles rather than chest and arms. That's what you're saying, right?
Yeah.
Okay, I hope the viewers understand that. If you have any questions about it, you can ask. But I think it's pretty straightforward what he's saying. He's basically saying, you know, don't focus on these little areas that aren't going to make you look big if you actually do have body dysmorphia. Because as I said previously, like we both discussed, the weaker you are and the smaller you are, the more of it you're going to have.
Yeah.
So the best way to treating it is, of course, developing a large amount of size. Because the closer you are to your limit, well, not necessarily your limit, but the more jacked you get, naturally, of course, you're going to have a bit less of it.
Yeah, and also like, which also ties into naturally enhanced. You know, like if you're feeling small, just up the body fat. You know.
Yeah,
a lot of these guys have body dysmorphia, they're like 10%, you know, and then you're complaining about their size. They're complaining how they can't even fill up like a medium t-shirt.
Great point, man.
You know what I mean? So up the body fat, it's like it's still a healthy range. You're 15%, you know.
Yeah, it's fine.
16%, whatever.
That's a good point. Like, yeah, like these guys, they're like, oh, I'm not big enough. Yeah, I see them trying to be 10% body fat, trying to rock shredded abs.
Exactly. Like
doesn't make sense, bro.
That's another thing. When you're natty, it's like you can't be shredded and huge at the same time. You have to make up your fucking mind. You could be a bit of both though. If you're like 14%,
I would say 12 to 15 is if you want to look lean as fuck.
If you're 15, you're gonna have the size, and you're also gonna have some abs. You know?
Yeah, like 15. I would say 15 is like the ultimate sweet spot, and then 20% is if you want to go more bear mode.
Yeah.
You know, but I'm like I creep around 15, 13, 15. But if I go to 20, I'm going to look a lot bigger. So that's a great tip for guys who have body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
You know?
So it's like, I hope you guys learn like a few things from this video, you know? And also, I also want you guys to understand that it's not necessarily about, as cheesy as it sounds, whatever, it's not really necessarily about the destination, you know? The journey is just as fun, you know? So you're going to notice when you get to that destination, like when I hit that 900-pound rack pull, or when Alpha hit that 1,000, like, it's like, okay, what now, you know? Or when you reach a certain measurement for a body part, you're like, okay, what now, you know? It's really not like...
It's not like this big...
People think once I reach this body, you know, I'm going to look fucking insane. I'm going to walk outside. There's going to be like earthquakes and water coming out with mermaids, and like everyone's just going to look at me and shit.
Yeah.
In reality, probably one of the best things that's going to happen is some of your friends going to be like, oh yeah, you look jacked. You know, it's like, it's not all sunshines and rainbows, you know? It's not like...
Yeah,
you're gonna be happy, but it's like it's not gonna be like that crazy, you know. It's like, but at the end of the day, we're natural too, you know. So
it is what it is. So just deal with it. Once you get to that goal, I mean, you'll realize it's not. It really is about the journey, because the destination is like, okay,
exactly, I
got it.
It's
what
like
now?
It's like what Elliot says in this video. How much muscle is too much muscle or something? He says, look, he was talking about a similar. He had a similar video, you know, and he's like about a guy who had body dysmorphia.
Yeah.
And his answer was, you set a goal, and once you reach that destination, you chill with it for a bit, you know? You enjoy that 600-pound deadlift, you know? You enjoy that, you know, extra inch on your forearms or whatever, you know? Chill, like, for a month, you know? Just enjoy it, and then, you know, sit back and set a new goal, you know? Just like...
yeah, just relax, guys. Just fucking relax. It's not that big of a deal. Like, once you get to that measurement, it's pretty much done. Like, I mean, it's great. Like, for example, my neck. I used to be 14.5, now I'm 19 flex. I'm not that much happier when I was 18 than 19. I mean, sure, I look a bit cooler, a bit more buff, but it's not like all my problems of the world have been solved. Like, I'm a fucking Super Saiyan, you know?
Yeah, and also, like, the more muscle you put on, the stronger you get, you start to realize, like, hey, you know, there's more to life than this, you know?
Yeah, there is more to life, man.
You know, some of these lifters, like, they've never been on vacation in their life. They've been, like, you know, in the same city for their whole life, you know. They don't go out. It's like, live a little too, you know.
For sure, for sure.
There's more to life than just like setting these goals too, you know.
Yeah, so I guess it's really all about like empowering yourself.
Well, obviously we're talking about guys, like, if you're competing, that's a little different there, but
yeah, we're talking about recreational lifters who have body dysmorphia.
Or drug free.
But even with the guys who compete, like, shit, that's a problem, you know.
It could be, yeah.
Could be, you know.
But at the same time, if you're competing, it's a little different, you know, because they're trying to make a career out of it.
And, yeah, for career benefits.
They're like that's their...
But there's a whole different side. The competitive bodybuilding thing, that's a whole different topic. I prefer not to address that in this video.
Yeah, this video is for recreational, drug-free lifters who don't compete.
Right on.
So it's like, I hope this advice helped you, you know. Let us know, like, your thoughts down below.
Yeah, and if any of you guys have had body dysmorphia, share with us your feedback, you know, or help other guys who have it. Because I got a lot of people who have this. So any feedback, I think they would appreciate. Like, I know for myself, I would have loved to have a video like this many years ago.
Definitely, yeah, me too. I'm happy I'm the one who can make it now, you know.
Yeah, it's a great feeling, eh? Being able to help people out, giving back to the community. It's really cool.
I always say this, like, and also I want to say that, like, I'm really happy with the positive feedback I've been getting in the comment section, you know.
Yeah.
And I just want to say that if I can only help one person, I'm happy. Like, that makes my day, you know. And that makes my week, if anything, you know.
Yeah.
Because one person is important, you know. And I was that one person. Now look at me. Now I'm helping other people, you know. So all it takes is you spark one person's brain, and
one person could spark change.
One person could change
across
the world,
the fucking nation, man.
That's what I'm saying. So
it's real talk. So that's about it. Hope this video helps you out, and we'll talk to you guys next time.
Yeah.